What's up, you guys? Void here, coming back at y'all with another video, and it is official. We know the 15 cards that are coming out in From the Vault Transform. It will be releasing the 24th of this month, and from what I can tell, there's only 3 cards that have alternate art, which is something that From the Vault is well known for doing pretty well. Giving some awesome alternate art is an incentive for selling their product in the first place, because the foiling process, it's a bit controversial. Not enough people like it. Many people just prefer the original foil versions that come out in the sets as opposed to the over glossy, over shiny, just really tacky looking foils that From the Vault are very well known and infamous for doing. So the 3 cards with alternate artwork are Delver of Secrets, Garrick Relentless, and Huntmaster of the Fells. I'm not really a big fan of the artwork. I much prefer the original version of Delver of Secrets. The artwork isn't really that big of a deal to me. I think it's okay. It's not fantastic, but again, it's supposed to be something that looks good as a foil, so when they're making the artwork for these cards, do they consider actually making them look amazing in this foiling process? Well, I don't think it's terrible artwork. I don't necessarily think it stands out. The other cards, though, I think we knew that they were going to have to reprint the flip planeswalkers in order to put a lot more value into this set, and the most obvious one was, of course, Jace, Vryn's Prodigy. We also have Kithian, Hero of Akros, Nissa, Vastwood Seer, Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh, and Liliana, Heretical Healer. This was pretty much going to have to be the way it was for this set in order to have some sort of value. Only one that really stands out, though, is Jace. I think the others are relatively cheaper. And kind of the downside was the fact that we didn't get alternate art for these planeswalkers, which would have been something pretty cool, and it definitely would have increased, I guess, sort of the desire to buy this product. But aside from those cards, we also have awesome reprints of Archangel Avacyn, as well as the 2 other sisters from Eldritch Moon. We have Gisela, the Broken Blade, and Bruna, the Falling Light. Now, these 2 were pretty cool reprints, as well as Avacyn. I think you pretty much had to reprint these. The flip side is pretty cool. Again, though, having alternate art for these would have been interesting, especially when you consider their flip side was something that combined, and that would be pretty cool if we had just a gigantic work of art that looked brilliant as a foil. A little disappointed that these didn't get new artwork, but the fact that these are in the set is definitely a good thing. We also got a reprint of Regan Cord. Not too excited about her. I definitely think she's one of the weaker planeswalkers. The artwork isn't terrible, but again, nothing else there. We also got a unique card in Elbrus, the Binding Blade. Flips into a gigantic demon monster. Pretty cool. Doesn't see too much play, but a very interesting card to have, and something that if you don't want to put too much value in a set, you might as well put in a cool card in here. And having a flip equipment like this is definitely interesting. And then we of course have a very desirable card, especially if you've been trying to play Vampires and Commander. This is one that has been a little bit more difficult to get. Its price has gone up since the release of Commander 2017. I am of course talking about Bloodline Keeper. Another example of what they could have done with this set, just give better alternate artwork. Not saying this artwork is bad at all, it looks cool. Again, like, these are very popular cards now. Giving them new artwork would have increased the desirability of the set altogether. And now we move on to the final card, which is quite possibly the biggest disappointment of this entire set, was that they chose to reprint a card from Ixalan because they were so limited in their just options when it came to flip cards, and they reprinted Argyle's Bloodfast. Not even a different art, just Argyle's Bloodfast. You chose to go with what was probably the worst, if not one of the worst, flip cards from Ixalan. You could have gone with the little 1-drop flip card that gives you vampire tokens. That sees play in Standard. I mean, it sees some play. I don't think this sees any play at all. You have the Itlimoc, Cradle of the Sun, that one. I mean, gets you basically Gaia's Cradle type of mana. You could have gone with that one. It's more valuable, it's more desirable, and it probably would have looked a lot better as a foil. But this card, out of all of the flip cards that you choose from, Wizards, this is one that you go with from Ixalan. I mean, that's very underwhelming. Definitely when you consider we have cards like Westvale Abbey, which are amazing in Commander, and just a very good flip card. It's a land too, so you have that diversity in the set. They could have done something like that, like put in a Westvale Abbey, but they chose not to in favor of a significantly worse card and just a terrible card in general. It's not fantastic. Argyle's Bloodfast isn't going to see much play at all. It requires you to have 5 or less life in order to transform it, so there's really no incentive there. I mean, you have to be on the brink of death in order to use it, and in Standard it sees no play. It's basically just 2 mana to pay 2 life and draw a card. which it's not the worst card ever, but it's not fantastic. There are much better options to choose from than this card. But anyway, guys, that was the spoilers for From the Vault Transform. Overall, I would say, if I had to give it a grade, it would probably be a C. Not fantastic, but not something to just throw into the trash. It has some value in there. It has some cool cards that are getting reprinted. But overall, the disappointment in the lack of alternative art and just the poor selection for just cards to put in the set. I mean, you could have easily have gotten rid of Argyle's Bloodfast and put in a Westvale Abbey. The value of the set wouldn't have gone up that much. I mean, it's a good card, but it's like $4. I mean, come on, you could have done that. So anyway, I probably am not going to recommend this to you. There are way better From the Vaults to invest in. I think they're collector's items for the most part, so would have been cooler to see different artwork on Planeswalkers like Jace, Liliana, just cool cards. Anyway, let me know what you think about this From the Vault, guys. I'm not a big fan of it. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Void here signing off.